And Jordan, you've mentioned a couple times the 5D consciousness. Could you explain a little bit what is that actually?
So it's sort of realizing on the highest level. So when we talk about like 4D consciousness, people say I'm manifesting, right? I gotta attract things to us. But when we look at sort of like Dr. Hoffman or Dr. Campbell, some of the new stuff that's coming out, the 5D consciousness is sort of realizing that reality is flowing through you. You are the source, right? So imagine we're sort of wearing this meat suit with like a VR headset, and we're kind of decoding energy. And when you get to 5D consciousness, you're sort of realizing, oh, I'm the source of my reality. I'm manipulating the energy. I'm matching a frequency. And whatever I start to align with is going to be reflected back to me. So when I say state of being, one of my major issues with long-term therapy is I do think it's beneficial in the beginning, but some of the people I know that are in long-term therapy, they get worse. And I think part of that is because they start to recreate their past and their patterns, and they live in it, right? And they identify as a person who has this mental illness, very much like me with the physical illness. So when we talk about 5D consciousness, it's getting to a point where in 4D, you would say, I'm healing, and the universe would reflect that back to you in the same frequency. Okay, you're healing. Let me show you more evidence of you healing. 5D, you say, let's skip all that. Let's get to the state of being where I am a healed person, and let me live like a healed person. And then that will get reflected back to me. And that's really how I became a good songwriter, is that when I started doing this, I shifted my state of being through affirmations and visualizations to a person who would say to in the mirror with no evidence, I'm one of the greatest songwriters in the world. And I would say that all day long and all day long. And as I said that and embodied that and walked around like that, I became better and better and better at songwriting, not in a grinded out, human mind limited way, in a connecting to infinite intelligence, higher self downloading sort of way. And then that was reflected back to me. So that's the kind of newer age stuff that's coming out now, is kind of like, don't keep identifying as a person who's healing. Identify a person who has shifted to the state of being of a person that's healed, and then you skip that whole thing and the universe is going to reflect it back like a mirror. And that's what I say when I mean 5D consciousness.
Had you ever written a song before you met that woman in the tent in Bali? Had you had experience with that at all?
Zero experience. I actually tried a bit because I love music. It's been my best friend my whole life. I tried to. I was horrific at it. But I realized what I was doing was entirely wrong. I talk to songwriters now and people who can't get it. You don't sit down at a piano and grind it out from your limited human monkey mind. What you do is you connect to the infinite intelligence that we're all connected to, and you simply download it. You know, one of the things that's so interesting is I was listening to a podcast of a guy who's an inventor, and he says when he gets a brilliant idea, he calls his assistant and he says, get it done now, get the application in now. Because what they find is what happens is when he goes to get the invention and the patent for the invention, there will be a person in Russia or Australia or on the other side of the world that will come up with the exact same invention within 48 hours. And that just speaks to sort of quantum entanglement, that we're all kind of in this quantum field. So what's happening is they're also downloading it from the field at the same point. And so what ends up happening is with the songs that I write from a deep sleep, it is a channeling process. They'll come to me in the shower, the entire concept, the entire chorus, the entire words. I've simply just connected to that higher intelligence because I believe in it and I shifted my state of being. I don't really write songs. I say I channel them. And like, you know, I've listened to the guys from Coldplay. They say, yeah, sometimes we receive songs from wherever they come from. And I think we know where they come from. They come from the infinite intelligence that we're connected to. So yes, that's the answer. That's the protracted answer to your question. I apologize.